The Tesla Model 3 and the Prius are the goats in their own perspective. Over 5 million Prii have been sold. That's a Prius right there, which I didn't even know. Still looks modern and beautiful. So the Model 3, we're doing a little road trip today, round trip to Jerome, Arizona. And I'm gonna break down the cost difference of traveling in both of these. Because if you're looking at both of these cars, not only are you gonna pick up a lot of women, you're gonna save a lot of money by traveling. So I'm gonna show you today on this shorter road trip, it's about 250 miles round trip, to show you the cost breakdown between the two, the performance differences, and the other features these have. Starting with the solar roof that the Prius has. This car has about 10,000 miles on it, and in that 10,000 miles, it's brought in about 11 kilowatts of energy, which is about 1/8 of a Tesla battery. So it's not nothing, but it's also kind of cool that it has that feature. Let's hit the road. Of course, the Tesla driver, we have to wait for them to charge. Typical. Tried to get an online insurance quote today. They immediately sold my information. Now I'm getting calls out the ass. Hey, Mackenzie, this is Ben. I think I had a missed call from you.
Yeah, I was calling in regards to, I got a request that you wanted a quote for your Tesla.
Oh, weird. I put a thing in on a thing called Auto. I didn't know they were going to sell my information that quick.
With $1,000 deductible for comprehensive and collision, it includes the full glass. It would end up being $619.54.
Yeah, I might end up doing that because I'm currently paying $140 a month through State Farm. And like a good neighbor, they haven't been there, you know?
Yeah, this has $1,000 deductible with the glass. I did not put uninsured or underinsured motorists. I don't know if you have that right now. So yeah, it's like $10.
Okay.
All right, no problem. Thanks so much for talking with me today, too. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you, you too. What a nice girl. And we're going to save a little bit of money once I give her a call. I mean, State Farm, they've been, like, good, but it's like, you know, continues to go up. You know how they say, like, oh, when you get older, like, your rates go down. No. When you get older, you make more money, and then they just keep raising your rates up, and you're like, well, I don't want to bother switching insurance, and you should shop it every 6 months. But it is also crazy how my information was immediately sold to every rep in Phoenix. Anyways, let's continue on to Jerome. So I was just reading on the safety and convenience features, and it says it has Toyota Sense 3.0. So I made a commercial for Toyota Sense 3.0. Here we go. With Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, we've installed high-tech sensors in the front of the car. These sensors can sense whatever's in front of you and will swerve and keep you back in your lane. This way, you can drink and drive as much as you'd like. Toyota Sense 3.0 will not only keep you safe on your way home, but you'll also get great gas mileage. It also has blind spot monitoring, so if a cop is tailing you, you will know not to change lanes and cut them off. It also has front and rear parking assist, so you can stop running into your neighbor's cars when you come home at 4 a.m. still drunk from the bar. This is one of many new features on the new sexy Toyota Prius. Toyota, let's go places. Drunk. So what is it like driving the Prius? It's very nice. It's very quiet in here. We got a decibel meter. We'll measure some decibels. While this is turning on and powering up, we're getting great gas mileage. It has heated and cooled seats. The cooled seats have been running. Just keeps you from having back sweat. If you're going to a business meeting and you show up looking like a pig, you got sweat dripping down your back, it's not good. Let's see, decibel meter. So right around 60. We're currently on a very smooth paved road, so that's good. Look at this thing, what a great toy. We also have this center console here, which is very clean looking. I got used to the Toyota Lexus center console. It has all your, very convenient. Once you get used to it, you know, it takes a couple times. It's very convenient to have the shifter and everything here. It has a couple modes here. It has a hybrid vehicle / electric vehicle hold the charge mode. It says EV mode unavailable because the battery is low. Okay, so I just put it in auto mode, switching back and forth between both. It does have several drive modes here. We have this little switch. We've got custom, sport, normal, and eco. I've been cruising around in eco because we're kind of doing an efficiency test, just showing what the cost difference is between these two on this approximate 250 mile round trip, day trip. We're also headed to the canyons right now, so we're gonna do a little canyon run, see if the Prius can keep up with the Model 3. Steering wheel's in a great position, has adaptive cruise control, and has a button here that lets me adjust the follow distance. That's very nice. But the adaptive cruise and lane keep assist, you know, it's not supposed to be hands-free, but it in a lot of ways is. You know, it's keeping me centered in my lane. It's working very well. Very similar to autopilot, probably not as good as autopilot, but still very good, very useful. That's a feature that over the years now, it's almost needs to be standard. It needs to be something I have in the car as adaptive cruise control. It's just a comfortable feature to have. If you have to do something in the car or reach something over there, at least you have that type of safety going on, just because it's safer. If you need to take your eyes off the road for whatever reason, the fact that you have the car looking out for you, I think is a good safe feature. It does have Apple CarPlay. The infotainment system in here is kind of, there's not much to it, and I think the reason for that is because these manufacturers are relying so heavily on Apple CarPlay. So when you go into the native infotainment system, you can look through some of the settings that show efficiencies of the car and different settings or ways to set it up. There's just not that intuitive. Now it does have the solar panel on the roof, so it doesn't have a panoramic roof. I think that's totally fine. I think panoramic roofs are kind of becoming overrated in a way, especially in Arizona, I'll say, because the car has to work so hard to keep it cool with all that heat and light coming through. I don't think it's something you're really gonna miss, to be totally honest with you. You have auto high beams over here, you have heated steering wheel, you have the heated windshield button, so you have all that. You also have this button over here that gives you camera views and automatic parking. So there's a lot packed into this, and it starts at $39,000 for the plug-in hybrid version, this XSE, which is very comparable to the Model 3. And that's why I feel it's important to do this, because I would bet that people are cross-shopping these. A lot of people are not ready to jump full into EV with the charging and range anxiety and all that stuff. So I think a hybrid makes a lot of sense. So we're gonna see at the end of today what the cost difference is between the two of them. We're at the bottom of these canyon roads. We're about to make a run up to the top. I'm gonna see if I can hang with the Model 3. 0 to 60 on this is about 5.3 seconds. I don't know what the 0 to 60 on this is, but it's no slouch. Like, it's not what the old Prii used to be. This is fairly quick. I mean, it's not slow and by any means. Also, it has this rear compartment cover, which is kind of nice how it folds up in half. Sorry, it says, look at that. There's even labels, backside. So we know to turn it like this. Boom. Kind of locks into place. I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed that they took the time to let it fold in half, because if you want to like not use it, you can fold it and not let it get in your way. As far as rear storage compartment goes, here's our plug that it comes with. It's actually fairly small. It's a thin cable. Tesla cables are very thin, and a lot of the third-party ones are very thick. So it's nice that this actually has a thin, small cable that plugs into the J1772 charge port here. And then as far as opening the rear up, you can see here, it's interesting, this car, the press car, did not come with any floor mats, which I don't understand. Like, is someone stealing these floor mats, or do I have to option that? Kind of insane. The color on this Prius is Guardian Gray / black. I think it's a very good looking color. Again, I think Tesla's colors are overpriced and kind of boring, so they need to update there. 220 combined net horsepower, plug-in hybrid system. Already did the commercial on the safety and convenience, as you know. See Apple CarPlay, 7-inch multi-information display, JBL 8-speaker sound system with amplifier, blah, blah, blah. Advanced technology package, advanced park panoramic monitor, who cares? Heated rear seats, whatever. $41,564, and then delivery and processing fee is $1,095, bringing it to $42,659. So it's not cheap, but it also has a lot of nice features. Just, I don't know, things like cooled seats, which you cannot even get in a Model 3 or a Model Y. The fact that this has a nice JBL audio system, has Apple CarPlay, it has the nice display right in front of you, the steering wheel is very comfortable, all that stuff. You know, it's crazy that the Prius is actually a car. Like, I was at Goodwill the other day. If you follow my Twitter, you already know this. But I was at Goodwill the other day, and the guy goes, "What car is this? It's beautiful." I go, "It's a Prius." There's no way. So Prius is catching people's eyes. All right, let's do a little follow here behind the Model 3 and see if we can hang with it through the twisties. I know this is an absurd test, but I try to test everything. Drive mode select, sport. So now we're locked in, and let's see if the Prii can hang with the Model 3. I guess it's just Prius. Prii is plural, so I'll relax on that. Already chirping tire. All right, losing them up the hill. Just, we don't even have a shot. We have no shot. There was zero power going up that hill. All right, he's letting me come back. These wheels, these tires are struggling. Yeah, all right. Well, that's enough of that. So in comparison, in a performance test, the Prius does not even come remotely close. Not even remotely close to even the standard range Model 3, which is significantly better than this if you're gonna go on a twisty road. So fun factor, Model 3 wins hands down, no argument, you're nuts. So now that we've got out of the Prius, let's drive the Model 3 and just give a review on how this feels driving. Steering, much more connected, and really just the throttle, oh my goodness. Like, I know this comparison is ridiculous. The cars cost the same though, and I know people cross-shop them. As crazy as you think that is, they do. The driving experience in this is 1,000 times better, partially because the steering is way more connected. The other part of it is the throttle response is immediate. There's no delay. I think this has about 275 horsepower. But getting that instantaneous torque, you just can't beat that. And again, these cars cost approximately the same. This does have a tax credit right now. If you qualify for that tax credit, then you can get it even cheaper. So it's just a really good value and a really well put together car. The Model 3 has the 18-inch wheels. I recommend getting the 18s simply because the ride quality is going to be better and you're going to have better efficiency with the car. So if you don't mind the look of them, which I don't think they look bad at all, like I think the Model Y 19-inch wheels look bad, but you can get wheel covers that make them look better. But this is just, I prefer this driving experience so much more. Now on to what the Prius does better, and that's gonna be on road trips. It's way easier to drive in that simply because it's quicker. You're gonna get a real almost, close to probably 500 miles of range. You don't have to worry about charging and chargers not working. The Tesla charging network is excellent, so the chances of you having an issue with that are almost zero. But this driving experience is significantly better than that of the Prius. So the Prius is a much better looking car now. Is it better looking than Model 3? Personally, I don't think so, but I do think it is a beautiful looking car. I really like the design of the new headlights. The colors that it comes in are great, and even the red accents on the interior are very nice. Additionally, it has a solar panel on the roof, which does generate some power, and you can check how much power it's generating inside the car. Now, what a lot of people don't know is, and I didn't know this till recently either, because I'm not a know-it-all. This panel here, it's not really enough to create a substantial amount of energy. You would need almost is this full size of both of these cars to be creating a substantial amount of energy. So it does over time, with 10,000 miles, creating approximately 11 kilowatts. It's not nothing, but it's just, the cost of putting that on there versus not having it. I don't really know where that break-even point is, but it is a cool feature. The Tesla just has a fully panoramic roof, which the one issue with the panoramic roof is in hot places like Phoenix, this just lets a ton of heat into the car and you end up putting a sunshade over it to cover it up. I have a ton of sunshades and all kinds of discount codes linked in the description, as well as my Amazon store. So there's a lot of really helpful things down there that I've kind of sorted through and found the best products. So check out the description. You can get a lot of discounts and get high quality products for the interior of your Tesla. Now, the Model 3 also has a really nice frunk space here, whereas the Prius does not. So you have a little more storage. My shoe's falling apart. So if you guys could please maybe use some of the links in the description and I can afford to get some new shoes. These are from college. That was over 10 years ago. So look at this one. It's the truth. Onto the interior of the car. Let's just jump to the interior. I mean, the exterior, you guys can judge for yourself what you like better. The Prius is a massive upgrade over what it used to look like. Onto the interior of the Prius. Again, cooled seats. Does not have powered seats. $40,000 car, no powered seats. Now, if this was a performance car, which we just did the uphill and that was the saddest thing ever, then I could understand, okay, they're trying to save weight, but 40 grand, throw a power seat in and power it with the solar panels here, okay? Seats are very nice quality. Well, they're decent quality, not very nice. We have some red stitching here because this is now a performance model. In all seriousness, if you have a Honda Civic Si that like 2022 or newer, this will beat you off the lines. If you see this, just let it be, act like you don't see them. And then if you have a Prius, prod them on and embarrass them. Onto the back seat here, plenty of room. That seat's sitting way back in the front. We got plenty of room back here. It does have heated seats in the back, but there's no air conditioning in the back, and that's kind of a problem. You have two USB-C, and you also have an AC 120-volt 1500 watt AC power supply back here, but no air back here. That's kind of a problem. And you do have a pocket on this seat. You do not have a pocket on the back of the driver's seat. I find that very weird when companies do that. Like, does it cost that much? Like, what are the engineers saying that they said, no, we're not putting a pocket over there? It does have a center console. You can seat 5 in this, just like the Model 3. Very simple, 2 cup holders, folds right up, sits flush, and then to sit in the middle. So it's kind of cramped back here. Let's see what the Model 3 is like. Now, Andrew, who owns this Model 3, is 6'3", so his seat goes way back. I'm 6 foot, so I'm gonna adjust it more to this is about where I would sit. Interesting. So the floor in the Model 3 sits up significantly higher, so there's more of this upward angle with my legs, so that's kind of interesting to see. It does have air conditioning back here, so that's a nicer feature. Still has your 2 USB-C charge ports, and it also has rear heated seats, which was a $300 upgrade that he paid for after the fact. I love the suede Alcantara trim here, window up and down switch. So I would say, surprisingly, the back of the Model 3, as minimalistic as this car is, actually has more features than the Prius, which costs about the same. The other nice thing about Teslas in general is the floor is totally flat back here because there's no gear tunnel or anything like that. So you get a lot more space. That way, if someone is sitting in the middle, just like I was in the Prius, you just have a lot more room to actually put your feet. You wouldn't want to go long distance back here, but you have significantly more room. Oh, look what Tesla invested in, a pocket back here, you know? Like, just little things like that. I don't know why Toyota chose to cut corners there. Moving on to you just sneeze. God. Onto the trunk of the Model 3. Power, just like the Prius, and it goes a decent amount back. You have a lot of storage just up here in general, but also, if you're looking for floor mats for your Tesla, 3D Mats makes the absolute best. I have a discount code in the description. They sit and fit the best throughout the entire car because of their Max Spider technology. I've had countless people in person tell me, hey, I made a mistake. I bought a cheap set off of Amazon and I end up going with 3D Mats later. And you know what they say, buy nice or buy twice. So these are excellent. I've had them for years. They've been a great partner on the channel. That's what to buy for your Tesla. They also make them for tons of other brands, so this come highly recommended at the Gjeebs organization. Now, there's also this huge storage compartment down here, and again, you can keep all of this stuff. You can keep your air compressor and everything down in here, even your charge cable. You can keep all of that down in there and keep this area totally clean, and that way nothing's sliding around if you do aggressive driving or you just want to keep it totally out of the way. I think that's a very convenient feature for items that stay in your car. Now, back on to the Prius. This is Prius right there. That's kind of cool. We've already showed you this. That folds in half, this cover, so that's nice. And then again, the storage back here with the charging cable. So, you know, even though this is more of a hatchback with the opening right into the rear of the car, the Model 3 has a lot more storage space, has a lot more performance, and arguably looks better. In addition to that, it has the infotainment system that is constantly updated, but a lot of people like Apple CarPlay, and the Tesla does not currently have that natively. But the Tesla's software that they've invested in and that they have in their car is incredible. It's second to none. You get those constant updates, whereas in the Prius, the software you get is kind of what you get. There's going to be very few updates over time that actually make meaningful differences. There's a lot of features on this Model 3 the car didn't come with that now it has through these over-the-air updates. So let's go into Jerome, let's go get lunch, and then we'll see at the end of this trip exactly what it costs to take both of these on the same road trip. 251 miles driven on this trip, 91% efficiency from the Tesla, 59.8 kilowatt hours consumed, and we added 20.54 kilowatt hours from the supercharger. So $7.80 was spent at the supercharger, plus $5 of home charging to get it back up to 100%. $12.80 total from the Tesla. If we did only supercharging today on this trip, it would have cost $24. For the Prius, to get back to 100%, it was 6.377 gallons of gas at $4.259, which is $27.15 for a 251 mile round trip. Prius, 10.8 cents per mile. Tesla, 5 cents per mile. So about half of the cost. Now, if we were to only do supercharging at 46 cents per kilowatt hour, it would have been $28.70, making it almost identical to the cost of the Prius. It's also worth noting the Prius easily made it round trip, where the Tesla had about approximately a 15-minute charge session to be able to make it round trip. This got back here with like 121 miles on it, so it was excellent. The other thing is, you can see we're plugged in charging up right now. It had 0% battery. The battery in here had no charge to it. So it probably could have been more efficient if it was fully charged up. Now, if you want to see what real world efficiency is like in a Tesla Model Y, click this video right here. That's going to be helpful to you to see what type of range you can get when you're going 70 or 80 miles per hour on cross-country trips, or maybe your daily commute has those types of speeds. This video will be really helpful to you.